4. The two requirements for developing excellence, courage and orderliness. God helps those who help themselves, says the proverb. There is, however, a corollary to this proverb implying that nature destroys those who are weak. The creator of Gita also states that man is his own friend as well as enemy. He has been given the freedom to choose either a disorderly way of life and throw himself in the abyss of decadence, or continue to climb peaks after peaks of success by adopting an active, orderly, meaningful life. Using Arjuna as proxy, the creator of Gita further implores each thinker to make an endeavor for self-evolution and not disgrace oneself by following a path of degradation. All happiness, beauty and conveniences available in this world have no meaning for one who does not have the capacity to enjoy them. For a blind person, all beautiful sights of the world and objects of beauty are virtually non-existent. On losing one's sense of hearing, one does not find any necessity for speakers, advisors, singers and musical instrumental performers. To a mentally deranged person, entire world appears like a lunatic asylum. Persistent stomach disorders and disorders of circulatory system are danger signals of impending waning physical strength, attack by diseases and approaching untimely death at any moment of life. Throughout the course of history, the structure of progress has been erected on the two foundation stones, namely persistent systematic deployment of resources and total involvement of persons deploying them. These have been the essential ingredients of progress of human community as a whole as well as of individual progress. In absence of these attributes, even those inheriting large fortunes, most congenial environment and all possible resources, have been found losing the advantage in moments and lamenting for the loss later. Possibilities of good or bad future continue to be sketched by the pen of our own actions. It is one thing to be stout, tall and healthy, and quite different to be courageous. A healthy person appears attractive and is looked upon with admiration. However, in absence of power of will, determination and steadfastness, courage and energy of pran, bioenergy, the person appears discontented, troubled, apprehensive and worried because of lack of valor to face the circumstances. Such a person is found making mountains of molehills of his problems and is always in search of excuses to avoid facing them. He does not see the problems as paper tigers which cannot withstand the minimum resistance of a determined person. Physical appearances are often deceptive. Within an invisible, seemingly inert atom is hidden enormous atomic power, which if properly channelized is capable of performing unbelievably big tasks. One needs only to activate the hidden inherent source of energy within self to become powerful. An average man utilizes only an infinitesimal part of this energy in somehow taking care of his needs of food and family. On the other hand, there are others who continue to draw from this inner energy for fulfillment of ambitions of highest order, for which they are found continuously planning and programming. Such persons, who are apparently indistinguishable in the mass of humanity, perform such miraculous feats that others are wonder-struck by their performance. There is thus a world of difference between these exquisite supermen and others. It is, however, not due to some extraneous factor, but is created by these persons themselves by simple acts like motivating others, mustering courage for one's own self for big tasks, making determined endeavors and offering a stiff resistance to impropriety, all of which is possible to do by any human being. However, whenever the seeds of progress sprout within the inner self of man, the expression is always seen as nobility of actions which are definite signs of evolution of the inner self. There is no doubt that one treading on the path of progress has to demolish many seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Ignorance makes a ghost out of bush and a snake out of rope during the night. Courageous persons undertake long hazardous journeys without any companion, whereas timid dare not go out alone even from their house during the night. Rana Sanga, who had been inflicted with over 80 wounds, had fought with swords in both his hands till he met his death. In spite of suffering from multiple wounds and pierced with arrows, Bhishma Pitama had, by his power of will, kept death at a distance, till his desired planetary configuration of sun took place. There is no doubt in the adage that whereas the brave die only once, the coward sees numerous moments of death in his life. It is unfortunate that man uses barely 7% of his energy throughout his life in looking after his body needs, whereas the remaining 93% lies in a dormant, unknown and unexplored state. But who would sympathize with an owner of a treasure lamenting for his poverty, because he has lost the key? The moment one begins to discard bad habits like sweeping of trash and molds his perspective to incorporate high ideals becoming of a human dignity, one prepares a background for one's transmutation from a humanoid animal to a divine man. In other words, it is a process of developing absolute organizational skill. Though making arrangements for organization of skill of self and others appears an insignificant task, it is the most dignified capability and boon one can expect from God. The commander-in-chief to join the army as an ordinary soldier. Then his organizational capacity is assessed by his superiors in successively higher ranks and he is made to shoulder appropriately bigger responsibilities. With the acquisition of increasingly greater capacity, he is able to perform seemingly impossible tasks. This is the manner in which a soldier earns successively higher honors. Similarly, the efficiency of mills, factories, workshops and industries depends upon the efficiency of their managers. These are the individuals who make a small workshop grow into a large industry and surprise many by their miraculous progress. During the British rule in India, administrative heads of provinces were called governors and the head of central government was known as the Governor General. The word governor means manager, indicating that managerial competence is the most important attribute of a human being. Because of this one basic characteristic, engineers succeed in completing large construction projects and small businessmen enlarge their establishment to become millionaires. Whoever has ever succeeded in surmounting large obstacles in work and arranged resources for a big task with some significant progress has always had the managerial qualities of courage and orderliness in him. However, it should always be kept in mind that power continues to be power whether it is utilized for constructive or destructive purpose. The power of courage combined with organizational skill enables the devil, the tyrant, terrorist and immoral person to perform beastly acts, putting humanity to shame. Though behaving immorally, the dacoits and smugglers, whose domains of terror and operations spread far and wide, ascribe their success to only courage and organizational skill. While describing virtues, a mention is made of many doctrines of spirituality, pledges and self-disciplines. It is also said that adherence to these tenets bring one moksha, riddhi, and siddhi. The idea behind these beliefs is merely propagation of significance of self-discipline and philanthropy. The objective of all these treatments is to develop all-round efficiency in personality and a habit to do hard work. It is also desired to develop an attitude of interrelating total involvement in an assignment in keeping with one's prestige, status, success and competence. By making one's qualities, actions and nature, instincts, worthy of human dignity, one gives birth to a new angel on this earth. The external facets of a person's life influence numerous others around him who emulate and draw inspiration therefrom. Legendary personalities like Harishchandra and Bhagirath become immortal, and even after their death their biographies continue to enlighten the lives of many. The same holds true about the attributes of the inner self of a person. If the level of contemplation, character, system faith, devotion, conviction and pragya of a person is high, the effect and consequences of these attributes do not remain confined to him only. Extrasensorily, they contribute to the process of upliftment of many, provide motivation to quite a few, and even project high the social status of many known and unknown persons, particularly those falling in their area of influence. The invisible aura of a person travels through space with all its positive attributes. Wherever it reaches and whoever comes in contact with it is invigorated according to its intensity. No one knows whether Paras, the mythical stone, did exist and turned everything it touched into gold. But it is an established fact that luminaries tend to attract innumerable followers and associates. The biographies of many a great person testify that with the help of their credibility in society and talents, they could collect enormous charge of bioenergy, pran, from all quarters and surmounting peaks after peaks of obstacles, reached the pinnacles of success. The impact of their character and personality itself was able to make others perform such feats which they themselves could not do with their lone efforts. In fact, the sure gift of God is acquisition of such a celestial competence and make use of it in changing the chaos and disorders in life of many into utilitarian orderliness. Most of the religions of the world emphasize the importance of charity, dan. Motivating others to give dan, alms, should be considered as sacred an act as giving it. The moment one begins to imbibe either courage or orderliness as natural discipline, one opens the doors of an all-round progress. Whether or not the great power accruing therefrom brings a person public acclamation is not relevant. All members of the human species have more or less common morphological characteristics and biological needs. Their habits of food and living are also more or less similar. Nevertheless, while many amongst us are found complaining about existing lack of resources and deprivations, with talent and inherent excellence a rare person is able to become many times more successful with those very resources and opportunities, which appear formidable constraints to others. With one's talent only, at times a person is found achieving so great a fame, personal influence and efficiency that to onlookers it appears nothing short of a miracle. With talent is also created a strong field of personal magnetism attracting and dragging an army of helpers and associates, who had traveled around to invite and organize the bears and monkeys who became associates of Ram in his war against Ravan, the cowherds, associates of Krishna, bhikkhus and parivrajaks, followers of Buddha, and satyagrahis, followers of Gandhi? How do the butterflies and honey bees sense the presence of flowers and rush towards them from odd places? The living of super-persons, though hard and full of inconveniences, have so much attraction that numerous persons are found eager to emulate them and make endeavors for establishing high ideals in the society. Whatever glamour appears in this world has not come into existence simply because of wealth and resources. Hidden behind each outstanding achievement in this world is the will of some creative genius who formulated the project at an appropriate time, erected a framework, provided for necessary infrastructure, and then finally realized the desired dream with total mental and physical involvement. Success is the name of this very process. One need not seek help of others for achieving success. One who makes a perseverant endeavor to develop mental faculties and developing them progressively shoulders and fulfills greater and greater responsibilities, acquires an efficacious organizational skill, by virtue of which wherever one goes, he is bound to be crowned with success. This is the greatest gift of God, which turns an ordinary person into a luminary.